Buddy, we are all here. This is a special meeting for one purpose, and I don't see anybody on anybody than the seven of us, because fire chief is with us too. So, no members of the public. So, anyway, we don't have our national anthem today. So I think what we'll do is I'll just call the meeting to order and ask if anybody has a pecuniary interest to disclose in today's proceedings. You don't have shares in any fire truck companies, I guess, or at least the one. All right, so none. Let the record show that no pecuniary interest was declared. Could we get a motion to approve the agenda, please?
I could make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
I'll
That's
second.
Councillor Nash moves and Councillor Bray seconds. That the agenda for this meeting be adopted as presented. I'll ask if we're all in favor, and I guess our clerk will call the roll.
Sorry about that. Councillor Bray,
Yes.
Councillor Lamb,
Yes.
Councillor Nash,
Yes.
Councillor Woods,
Yes.
and Mayor Comrie.
Yes.
Thank you. That motion is carried.
So the item that we have on the agenda is the purchase of a new pumper truck. And you have some material in front of you. I wonder if our fire chief is with us. Either he or Michelle, do you want to kick this off briefly? And we'll get a motion. Do you have any?
I think I'll leave it entirely to our fire chief. This is his purchase and he's done all the research. So I'll turn it over to Fire Chief Whitman.
Hey, through you, Mr. Mayor. Can you hear me good?
We can. Go ahead.
Yes. So I spent all last winter working on this proposal. I still think it's the best proposal for the municipality. I realize it's a huge expense for the municipality. But again, it's not something that we decided to do on our own. We're being made to do this. But I still think that this truck that we're purchasing is the best buy for the community, and it's going to last, the full 20-25 years in service with no issues. It makes no big difference. So if you have any questions, I can hopefully answer them. So I guess I'll leave it at that.
Okay, I'll tell you what, I let's get the motion on the floor and then we can have some discussion. The motion that was circulated with the meeting agenda reads as follows. Whereas Whitestone Fire Services issued a request for proposal, pumper fire apparatus RFP 2023-08 for the purchase of a new pumper truck to replace the current 2001 International E1 pumper truck. And whereas the Council of the Municipality of Whitestone contracted Performance Concepts Consulting to undertake a cost-benefit analysis regarding the purchase of a new pumper truck. And whereas the Performance Concepts Consulting final report was presented to Council on October 17th, 2023, recommending the replacement of the existing pumper as soon as possible with a new or demonstration pumper truck. And whereas the Council of the Municipality of Whitestone passed resolution number 2023-587 at the October 17th, 2023 meeting. The motion read that the existing pumper truck be replaced as soon as possible with a new or demonstration unit pumper truck through a new / revised procurement process should the previous proposal no longer be available. And whereas carrier emergency vehicles being the only compliant proposal for RFP 2023-08, which closed on May 5th, 2023, was contacted by Fire Chief Bob Whitman, and they advised the fire chief that carrier emergency vehicles was agreeable to honoring its bid submission subject to a decision being made by council by Tuesday, October the 24th, 2023. Therefore, be it resolved that the council of the municipality award a contract to carrier emergency vehicles as follows. 1, 2024 build to order Battle Shield pumper -1100 IG on a 2023 Freightliner M2 two-door chassis for the specifications submitted through RFP 2023-08. The completed apparatus will be delivered to carrier emergency vehicles in Brantford, Ontario for a full PDI, that's pre-delivery inspection, prior to delivery to Dunchurch, Ontario. The agreed upon price includes delivery, training provided by a certified EVT, and licensing, that is a fire service license plate. And the anticipated delivery is late 2024. And that the council of the municipality of Whitestone accepts the offer of $16,000 as the trade-in value of the current pumper truck. And that the total approved expenditure of the new pumper truck is as follows. And the price for the pumper is $709,459, less the trade-in for the existing pumper, the 2001 International E1 pumper truck. That's $16,000, which gives a subtotal of $693,459, plus HST of $90,149.67, for a total purchase price of $783,608.67. And that the mayor and CAO clerk be authorized to execute all necessary documents and contracts in respect of the above referenced purchase. Would someone like to move that, please?
I can move that, Mr. Mayor.
So that is moved. Sorry, let me just get my order paper here. Moved by Councillor Nash, seconded by
I'll second, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Woods.
And I think, Mr. Mayor, I'm not sure if Bob has his hand up on purpose. I see a yellow hand up. I'm not sure if that's.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
we have the motion. We have the motion on the floor now. So, Bob, did you have some comment?
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor, just number 1 on the sheet that I got, it says 1, a 2024 build. And did you say it was a 2023, or did I hear that wrong? Because it should be 2024. Mine says 2024.
Okay, so which
Oh.
sheet?
On the special council meeting on Monday, October 23rd. This one right here.
Oh, okay. So you're.
Do I have the
Reading.
wrong one?
Sorry, that me. I'm just gonna look to make sure I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor, I think
It
on
says
the-
it's a 2024 build to order Battle Shield pumper, model 1100 IG on a 2023 Freightliner M2 two-door chassis. Is that not correct, Bob?
I think it should be on a 2024. But just give me a second, just let me pull this up. Just continue on and I'll just pull this up here. I just gotta find it on my phone, sorry.
Well, I guess we could look at their letter and see what. You did include the letter in the package, right?
It just says completed vehicle in late 2024. It doesn't say anything that, oh, here, the next round of chassis would be a 2025 model year, but there's nothing that says in 2023 here at all, so, that I can see.
If I may, Mr. Mayor, Bob, if you want to look at the first page of their proposal where they had all their pricing, that's where I got the information from. If it's typed up incorrectly, then that can be changed. But if you open your binder, if you're in your office.
But if you take a look at the I mean, maybe this doesn't really matter because they're holding the price, but the comment in the letter from Carrier dated October 18th that says it's in the last paragraph. It says, after this chassis is okay. Well, let's read the second paragraph. It says, however, I would caution the chassis we have proposed to you has also been offered to another municipality. In the current supply and demand market, where demand far exceeds supply, the chassis will be allocated to the first municipality to provide a purchase order. I would strongly recommend that should you intend to move forward with your purchase, you are urged to do so immediately. After this chassis is committed to a contract, there are no further chassis available to the manufacturer in this current allocation. The next round of chassis will be 2025 model year, and it's anticipated that there is likely to be a substantial price increase in the chassis as chassis manufacturers implement a new round of mandated EPA emission standards. So, but this letter preceded the discussion that you had, well, it preceded us saying we would have a meeting today so we could get them an answer on Tuesday. So my understanding is that this is a chassis they already have, and we're grabbing it
Yes.
before somebody else does. Is that a fair, Bob? Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Mayor, I was looking at something different. You're correct. Sorry, my mistake.
Okay, so are there other questions or comments from councilors?
I have one, if I might, Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead, Councilor Nash.
Thank you. It was a real quick one, actually, and hopefully where I think our meeting today will probably be the shortest one we've ever had, hopefully. All it was one of the and that's was about that we accept the $16,000 offer on the trade-in. And just my personal thought on that is I would just like to see that item removed from the motion at this time. As a mover, I'd ask if others may be in agreement to that. The reason I say that is a fewfold. One, I think things can change over the course of about 2 years, I'm going to say, since we get it. And I'm sure the fire department would like to keep that truck for a little bit until they get used to the other one. And I'm sure at that time we can decide, do we want to keep that fire truck and use the truck part, like the frame, for something else? Do we want to use it as a secondary water truck for the municipality? Do we want to use it as a backup pumper for the fire department? And I'm guessing, if I know used cars at all, the company isn't offering 16 grand to lose money on it. So I would guess if we decide to put it as surplus in a few years, that we could put it out for auction and get whatever we might like at that time to in fair market. So I just ask if that be taken out, and I'm sure it's already known, but I just had a question on this. I know, Bob, thank you for all the work you've put into this. I know it's a really big expense for the municipality as a whole, probably one of the biggest ones for equipment to ever possibly. I think the last biggest thing probably would have been a grader. but I'm assuming, I just wanted to see how would it work going forward from here? And maybe this is a question for Bob and Michelle. Like once yourself, Mr. Mayor, and Michelle sign all the paperwork, would Bob still be the contact person with the fire department or the fire manufacturer? Just curious how that would work for communicating such a big order until the truck comes in, how that would work.
That's several
Well,
questions.
there are two questions there. I wonder if we could ask Bob. I gather, Bob, you had some discussions about what to do with the existing fire truck. And I must admit, I had the same question. So it seems like we've decided that once we get the new one, it has no value to us. Is that correct? And if so, could you explain the rationale for that, please?
Sure, through you, Mr. Mayor. So when the new truck comes, Carrier doesn't expect the old truck to be taken away right away. They've already said it, we could keep the truck if this is the route we want to go until such time that we're fully trained and everybody's comfortable in using the new truck. There was some talk about putting it up at Station 2. Unfortunately, Station 2 is limited to their firefighters, and no one at Station 2 has a license to drive big truck. So if we were going to keep it, it would probably have to stay at Station 1, and at this point in time, we don't have any room to keep it as a backup fire truck. Now, we could store it at Station 2 as a backup fire truck, and somebody could go to Station 2 and pick it up if we really needed it. Or we could, like Councillor Nash said, we could keep it, and at the end, once we declare it surplus, we could decide what we're going to do with it, if it's no good for the roads department, or I don't think any other department would require it as per our purchasing bylaw. We have to advise everybody, but I don't think anybody else would want it. Then we could put it out for tender or auction or whatever we felt was the best way to get rid of it. And yes, do I think the $16,000 is going to go down? No. Could we get more in 2 years, possibly 3 years? Possibly. It's hard to say.
Okay, well, I guess, so following on to that comment, if Councillor Nash has asked to sever the disposition of the existing truck from the motion, is there a seconder for that amendment? Because we can take a run on amendment, but for that, just to sever it out, I will take it out of the motion and bring it back separately in a minute. See
I'll
if
second the motion.
I'm sorry, who was that?
Councillor Lamb.
Oh, thank you. All right, so I have a request to sever the disposition of the current truck from the motion. Could we call the question on that, Madam CAO?
Yes, one moment, just making some notes here. Councillor Bray,
Yes.
Councillor Lamb,
Yes.
Councillor Nash,
Yes.
Councillor Woods,
Yes.
Mayor Comrie. Mayor Comrie.
Sorry, yeah, I said yes. I gotta
When
remember to.
when you turn your head, we can't hear you. Thank you. That motion is carried.
All right, thank you. So, we've now removed that one. Now, as far as the other question is concerned, Councillor Nash asked, was about who handles the contract going forward. I mean, not going, well, I don't know what there is to handle other than, I guess we get progress reports on when it gets close to when it's going to be ready, which they're anticipating is late next year, correct? So, I'm assuming that they would contact the fire chief, but is that what does our what does our purchase order, will our purchase order say?
the purchase order is usually silent on that, but the fire chief is definitely the first contact for this. Once all the paperwork is done and the purchase order has been issued and the contracts have been signed, the fire chief is the contact. He knows the purchase. He understands there may be decisions that have to be made along the way. So if they did call me, I would simply ask them to call the fire chief.
Okay, thank you. So the, are there other,
Yeah, I have a couple of
Questions.
questions.
Council
Yeah.
Lamb?
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor. So let me get this straight. So Carriers in Brantford, we bought I thought I heard a Freightliner chassis. So the actual fire truck itself is going to be made in Brantford? Is that true? I guess I'd say it to Bob. Is that where the rest of the truck, like, is there a fireplace in Brantford that's assembling fire trucks? Is that what's happening? Or
Through you, Mr. Mayor, no, it's assembled in Montreal.
Sorry, we can't hear you, Bob.
Sorry, it's assembled in Montreal. So the cabin chassis will be shipped to Montreal. That's where the build is. That's where Battle Shield is. They'll
That's what
build
Battle Shield is, yeah.
that's where they'll build the fire body. Install it.
who's Battlefield?
Battlefield is the company that's building the fire truck. It's a Battle Shield.
And
It's-
what's the
sorry.
relation? Okay, what's the relationship of Carrier?
A Carrier would, sorry, through you, Mr. Mayor. Carrier's selling us a Battle Shield fire truck. They're the dealer for Battle Shield. And
They're the dealership. Okay.
And sorry, it's Battle Shield. I keep saying Battlefield. It's not, it's Battle Shield.
There is a company called Battlefield that you've seen it. They rent construction equipment, but that is not the same company. This is a company, Battle Shield is a company that makes fire trucks, builds fire trucks.
Okay, so it's like buying a Chrysler
Yeah,
car from a Chrysler dealership.
Yeah.
Right?
But-
Okay.
that's exactly what's happening here.
Okay, thank you. Secondly, on the very first page, 4.1.1, which is the original letter, June the 10th, 2023, from the fire chief about the 5th paragraph down, it says an extension may be granted from the fire underwriters to continue using the pumper as frontline pumper up to 25 years, which I'm in the process of working on an extension. The fire underwriters will forward the finding of the report of the reported to the fire department as soon as the report is finalized. Did we get that?
Through you, no, we did not, because we did not, council hadn't really made up their mind whether we were gonna buy a new truck, a used truck, no truck at all. So if the decision is made today on which way we'll go, I'll contact them tomorrow. Let them know that we're expecting a new truck or no truck sometime the end of 24 or 25, and they will send a report saying that they will extend us until probably middle of 2025.
Okay, thank you. My last, oh, sorry.
Providing there's no hiccups.
Yeah. Okay, my last question is, I guess it makes because we're borrowing whatever, we've got 300,000 in the reserves for this. And then we obviously get to put in 2024 budget, whatever we want. It makes no difference whether, or does it, that we take delivery in late 2024 or January of 2025, because I take it we'll be just financing the difference. Is that correct? Or is there some financial gain for us to take delivery of it in January 2025? As opposed to late 2024? That's a question of, I guess, Michelle.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. certainly upon delivery, they would expect the full amount. And in this case, the full amount would be 801,688 67 cents. So removing the trade-in. And then the treasurer works with Infrastructure Canada and or Infrastructure Ontario and works on getting a debenture, and that can take up to 2 months. So we actually have to finance it, and we'll finance it through what money is in reserves, and then through a bank loan or whatever we have available from cash. I don't think we'd have that much cash on hand, and then the debenture would kick in a couple of months. That's how it would work.
So it makes no difference whether we took delivery in late 2024 or early 2025. It's still
I
the
would
same
say
cost would be incurred.
yes.
Okay, that's all the questions I have. Thank you.
Other questions, or questions from other councilors? Councillor Wood?
Mr. Mayor, I just have one question about, I know we decided that we took out the part where we're gonna trade in the old fire truck, but if we kept that fire truck, would that maybe help us if we were gonna try and get that tanker certification? That'd be another piece of equipment that we had that could carry water, and we got the primary and then the regular tanker and then this truck that we currently have. So you need so many pieces working with a neighboring municipality, like would it be advantageous for us to keep it just for that reason? Just a question.
Chief Whitman, you have a comment? Or
Yeah, so
Councillor
through
Blake?
you, sorry, through you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I've contacted the people that do the pump testing. Nobody's got back to me yet. It may be, and once I've set up a meeting to find out exactly what we're going to require to do to meet this, then we can, kind of decide if we want to keep it or not and park it at Station 2. So yeah, it could be, but I have to wait to see what they are requiring us to have. And so far, nobody's called me back. So
Okay.
It's another what, 900 gallons, Bob?
yes,
That's
through you, Mr. Mayor, that's correct, 900 gallons.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Sorry, go ahead. Councillor Wood.
Just thanks, Mr. Mayor. Reading through the fire chief's letter to us in the package 4.1.1, it says the municipality has 300,000+ in the fire pumper reserve. For some reason, I remember a number of 330. Do we know what the number that we have set aside? I don't know if that was from discussions earlier when we were talking about putting money into the budget. And we said there may be 330 at the end. I don't recall, but for some reason, I remember a number of 330. If somebody could help me out.
I think that's what the fire apparatus people said that the report last week.
Yeah,
But
and
Manish answered the question in what was in the reserve in the last meeting we had, did he not?
through you, Mr. Mayor, he did. I think Brian or Councillor Woods, he said 301,000 was in there at the present, if my memory serves me correct.
Okay, yeah, I don't know why I remembered 330 for some reason, but it's a number that stuck in my head, so I thought I'd ask.
And if I might, I just have one other question based on what Councillor Woods just said there, but I guess it's kind of two. And Michelle, I think you can answer the first one. For the HST, do we end up getting that money back at the end of the day? It's kind of an in and an out. Am I correct on that, even though we have to pay for it up front?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the municipality gets some of it back, about 86% of the 13% that they pay. So just a quick calculation here. I don't think it's exactly 86%, but in that area. So you'll get a rebate of just under 70,000. So the overall price, it comes down, and that's what shows on our books. But for the purposes of awarding the contract to Carrier, we have to note the actual HST.
Perfect. Yeah, that's what I thought. Thanks a lot. And for the other one, I'm just going to throw it out. Well, I guess we're voting on this motion. So once this motion's done, I just wanted to ask another question, but I'll let this motion get done first instead of getting it too convoluted. So sorry about that.
Okay, are there any other comments before we call the question? Councilor Bray, did you have?
No,
Okay.
no questions. Thanks.
All right, then, if the discussion is over, I don't have any questions. I think this is
So,
sorry.
yeah, sorry. I guess I'll wait till this passes. My concern is that we put out a proper communication on this. You know, once someone sees an expenditure of 800 and some odd $1,000 that obviously isn't in our budget right now, I think we owe it to the community to give an explanation of this in a written form, either on our website or on somewhere, right? So people understand it and we don't have people going off left, right, and center, with misguided facts, I guess. So anyway, let's have the vote first.
Yeah. Okay. Good comment. Thank you. Just to clarify, I won't read the entire motion, but I will simply tell you that, because I'm sure you all have it in front of you, but there is one sentence in the motion that.
Bring your head back, George. We can't.
I'm sorry, I gotta use my headset, I guess. There's one sentence in the motion that reads as that, and that the Council of the Municipality of Whitestone accepts the offer of $16,000 as the trade-in value of the current pumper truck. That has been deleted from the motion. And that obviously changes the numbers in the table because the $16,000 is out. The subtotal is $709,450, and the HST is now a slightly larger number than that. And I don't know. Michelle, do you want to do the calculations and give me the number?
Yes, through you, Mr. Mayor. So the new HST is $92,229.67. The total approved purchase will be $801,688.67. So those are the new numbers that'll be inserted into the approved motion.
All right. 59. Sorry, I'm just writing that on my copy, so I have it. But so that's the only change to the motion. It has been moved and seconded by Councillor Nash and Councillor Woods. I think you can call the question. Clerk.
Thank you, Councillor Bray,
Yes.
Councillor Lamb,
Yes.
Councillor Nash,
Yes.
Councillor Woods,
Yes.
Mayor Comrie.
Yes.
Thank you. That motion is carried.
Okay, so I will, thank you. I will now provide an opportunity for someone who wishes, because we severed that item about offering the existing truck on as a trade-in. Does anyone wish to move that?
Did we not move that?
No, we
We
took it out.
moved it.
Shoot, okay. Oh,
We
dear.
removed it from the motion, but I'm just asking if somebody wants to put it back and test the case. But otherwise, what will happen is we are keeping it and we'll determine what to do with it in the future at some other time. Okay? I
So
don't
if
hear
I
any-
may, Mr. Mayor, sorry, we took a vote on whether to sever that or not.
Yeah.
Did we not get a mover and seconder for that?
Yeah, I
Yes, we did.
seconded it.
Yeah,
Yes.
we did.
Yes,
but
oh, okay,
we just took it out of the motion that we just passed. I'm
Right,
asking
okay.
if somebody wants to bring it back separately. And And
I
I'm,
see.
I wasn't
Okay, I thought that
expecting,
was the case. I just wanted
I
to be
wasn't expecting anyone to, but I thought I should ask in case somebody. So it's not coming back for the moment, so we'll deal with that, what to do with the existing fire truck in the future. Madam CAO, do you have a comment with respect to Councillor Lamb's suggestion about a public announcement? Can you accept that as a staff direction or?
We could, yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. We can prepare a media release over the next few days. And it will go out on Facebook and it can go out on our website. We've just done an e-news blast. We could do an additional one. It's important and news for the municipality. We can take care of that.
Yeah, I think it's important through you, Mr. Mayor, that we point out that we really don't have any choice in this matter. That it's required for us to carry on with a volunteer fire department. So put it in the positive, right? And it is a big expenditure for the municipality, but we will continue to be frugal in our expenditures as we have been in the past, and we'll take delivery of it in late 2024, and we will be budgeting accordingly in the put in, I don't know whether you want to put reserves in or whatever, but anyway, whatever you want. You're good at it.
Well, I would turn this over initially through you, Mr. Mayor, to our communications person, Eva. And I'll let her listen to this audio, and I'll have her prepare the draft, and then I'll work with her on that, and council will see it before it goes out.
Good.
Okay, thank you. Well, I think we are essentially done with the business, so
Councillor Nash had something.
oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you did.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I'll try and be real brief here so we can wrap it up quick. All it was, I don't know if we do a motion today, but maybe we can just have a brief discussion on it. And there's one idea that I thought of, and I know it might be easier said than done. We'd have to look at everything when it's done, but if we're lucky enough, and I don't know if this will be the case, but if we're lucky enough to have some sort of a surplus at the end of this year, I was thinking that it might look good as a municipality should we have a surplus, be it $1 or $100,000, that once everything's looked at from a surplus point of view, so not taking the surplus and using it for next year, but if we did have a surplus and we know about it come January or something, that we say the surplus from 2023, should there be one, that maybe that surplus can go towards the fire truck funding. Just a way of saying, hey, if we have any extra money, maybe that's where it can go to, knowing that we're going to have to take out a loan or a debenture or do something to find the money. It might be an easy way of possibly finding several $1,000s should we have a surplus. That was all. I didn't know what other people might think of that, knowing that we'd have to look at the books and stuff, but knowing that we're going to have to put money aside next year for it regardless, it might be a good way to do it should there be a surplus. That was all.
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor, I don't agree with that at all. I'll take a look at the budget as it's presented to us. It's sort of like a cat and mouse game, right? You don't even know whether you're going to have a surplus, and we've got a lot of other competing priorities and that we have to establish. And just to unilaterally say right now, well, let's take whatever it is that we don't even know how much it is and just allocate it to the fire truck. We're going to allocate to the fire truck what we can allocate based on our entire budget, not based on some conversation in October. So I do not support it at all. We'll deal with it as part of the budget and not make some sort of resolution here or even at the next meeting. We've already committed ourselves to these funds in 2024 or early 2025. So it'll be what it'll be. And I'm repeating myself, but I'll look at the whole budget, not in isolation. Thank you.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, just from a procedure perspective, the only matter that we can deal with as a special meeting? Is that what is advertised on the notice? And that is being the award of the pumper truck. So this whole conversation would need to happen at a later date, as Counselor indicated. And we couldn't, it wouldn't be advisable to pass a resolution today because of that requirement in the procedure bylaw.
Yes, thank you. I'm I'm inclined to agree with that view of the matter. Okay, if there's nothing else, could I get a mover and seconder for our confirmatory bylaw, please?
I'll move.
I can second that, Mr. Mayor.
Moved by Counselor Woods, seconded by Counselor Nash. All those in favor, we'll call the question, please.
Counselor Bray,
Yes.
Counselor Lamb,
Yes.
Counselor Nash,
Yes.
Counselor Woods,
Yes.
and Mayor Comrie.
Yes,
Thank you. That motion is carried.
and finally, we have adjournment. Now therefore be it resolved that this meeting be adjourned at, looks like 4:42 PM until the regular council meeting of Tuesday, November 7th, 2023 at 4 PM or at the call of the chair. Mover and seconder,
I'll move it.
I'll second.
moved by Counselor Lamb, seconded by Counselor Bray. All those in favor, please.
Counselor Bray,
Yes.
Counselor Lamb,
Yes.
Counselor Nash,
Yes.
Counselor Woods,
Yes.
and Mayor Comrie.
Yes,
Thank you. That motion is carried.
thank you very much. We stand adjourned. Thank you for making yourselves available this afternoon. And I think it was probably one of our
Shorter ones.
shortest
I've got a
meetings in a
planning
long
meeting.
time.
Counselor Nash
Record
and I have a
breaker.
planning meeting
Yeah.
at 7, so.
Okay, well, I know it'll be a long day for you, but
Environmental-
go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, I have an environmental one today
Yeah.
too, so I'm happy to be done.
Okay, good night, everyone.
Good night.
All right, everyone.
Aye.
Good one.